Ladies and gentlemen, it is now 2023, so you know what that means. Everybody making their New Year's resolutions and everybody claiming new year, new me. No, it's not. Let's be real. You're 30 now. This is you. But luckily, I love you just the way you are, and I appreciate you for stopping by and checking out my top 15 songs of 2022. Way too many good songs this year to just stick to a top 10, so I pushed it to 15. So let's waste no more time. Let's get started with some honorable mentions. Starting off with Conway the Machine and Stressed. Bia and J. Cole, London. Great J. Cole guest verse. Compromised by Ransom, bro. If y'all don't know about Ransom yet, you need to get familiar. Nonchalant by Westside Boogie. Stick by J.I.D., Kenny Mason, Sheck West, and J. Cole. Precious Things, Lupe Fiasco. Kiosk by Lupe Fiasco. Prideful Part 2, Westside Boogie. Simba, Can't Win for Nothing. Lock Load, Conway the Machine featuring Beanie Siegel. That shit is raw. Ghetto Gods Freestyle, Earth Gang and 2 Chainz. Neck and Wrist, Pusha T, and a great Jay-Z verse. Swamp Bitches by Doechii and Rico Nasty. FNF, Glorilla, Super Gremlin, Kodak Black, and last but not least, my homie Bizzle O and Life is a Cigarette. Those were my honorable mentions. Let's crack into the top 15. Number 16, Auntie Diaries, Kendrick Lamar.
My auntie is a man now. I think I'm old enough to understand now.
Kendrick touches on the previously untapped subject matter of transitioning. He tells the story about his aunt who transitioned from a female to a male, and then subsequently his cousin transitioning from a male to a female. There's not a lot of artists that I would trust with this sensitive of subject matter, but Kendrick definitely pulls it off. The beat is thumping and minimal, which really allows Kendrick's lyrics to really shine through. I know a lot of people had a problem with Kendrick's usage of the F word in this song, but in my opinion, I think he brought it full circle, and definitely with the context given, I definitely think that he used it in a tasteful way. But that's just coming from my opinion as a straight male. I would love my transgender subscribers to give your 2 cents and let me know how you felt about this track down in the comments. Number 15, Beef, Nas.
I am your nemesis, parents of every slain rapper wish I didn't exist. But I'm alive and I thrive on your ignorance. I'm 1,000-foot fence that keep you from getting rich. Get around me. I be trying to find the best way they can stop me cold.
As I said in my albums of the year list, Nas shouldn't be doing this at this point in his career, at this age, but he might be on the best run of his entire career. You would think at this point in Nas's 30-year career that he would run out of shit to talk about, or at the very least, lose passion for MCing, but at this point it seems that Nas's fire is burning hotter than ever. And this song right here, Beef, off of KD3, might be the best example of that. Nas is personifying and speaking through the perspective of beef. For those of y'all that don't know, beef is basically just a conflict between you and somebody else. Nas has done these personification tracks a couple times before, most notably with I Gave You Power, where he speaks through the perspective of a gun. And then a couple decades later, Nas gives us Beef, which, like I said, he's speaking through the perspective and personifying beef in only a way that Nas can, in such a creative way, over great Hit Boy production. Definitely go out of your way to check this one out if you haven't already heard it. Number 14, Dark Hearted, Freddie Gibbs.
Motherfucker friend, got them bitches at my crew. I knew you would fuck with me if I didn't have no loot, cause I'm the one that push a hard line. Tell me what niggas know about hard time. Empty stomach, give you the heart to go do a homicide. Know some bitch niggas.
Freddie Gibbs definitely got deep into his melodic bag on this one. Definitely known for giving you that gangster shit, but he's definitely showing versatility and definitely showing that he can get into his melodic bag with the best of them, honestly. I can definitely understand if people were to say that this track is repetitive, but repetitive isn't always a bad thing. The melodies constantly switch up on this song and, in my opinion, just get better and better. There's like 3 to 4 different melodies that get stuck in my head every time I listen to this song. I mean, you combine those melodies with that signature Freddie Gibbs gangsta shit, and how could you not love this song? Number 13, Cash In Cash Out, Pharrell, Tyler the Creator, and 21 Savage.
Straight up. Cash in, cash out, cash in, cash out, cash in, cash out, cash in, cash out, cash out.
I'm gonna be honest, if I was doing a music videos of the year, this would definitely be a lock for the #1 spot, but just as a song, it's still good enough to crack my top 12. The chemistry and the energy between Tyler, 21 Savage, and Pharrell is just unmatched. Obviously, you got Pharrell in the production, and 21 and Tyler are just trading great verses, quotables for days. The beat is banging and infectious. Yes, the hook is repetitive, but 21's just got so much charisma that you can't help but love it. Number 12, Mr. Morale and Savior, Kendrick Lamar.
Are you happy for me? Really? Are you happy for me? Smile on my face, but are you happy for me? Yeah, I'm out the way. Are you happy for me?
Be not your father, just detox my calling is right on time. Transformation, I must have 1,000 lives in like 3,000.
Just two of the songs from Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers that you'll find on this list. There are a few more that you'll see a little bit later, but Mr. Morale, I've described it plenty of times as animalistic, aggressive, primal, and it's all that, trust me. But as is with almost every other Kendrick Lamar song, this song got hella substance too, bringing up topics of black trauma just like throughout the entire Mr. Morale album, specifically touching on, probably bad word usage, specifically talking about R. Kelly and Oprah and just the history of family abuse and how the cycle can continue. My only negative about this song is that the best part, in my opinion, only plays once. And in the case of Savior, I really feel like Kendrick had a lot to get off his chest, and he chose this song to get it all out there. I really feel like he had his finger on the I don't give a fuck button, and he was pressing that bitch throughout this entire song. For instance, Kendrick talks very bluntly about his opinions on COVID, the vaccine, the Black Lives Matter movement, and how people were criticizing him for not speaking up enough about the Black Lives Matter movement. And not only was the substance, as always, amazing in this song, but this beat might be the best beat Kendrick Lamar has ever rapped over. Sam Dew, throughout this whole album, but most specifically on this song, almost acts like another instrument and just adds to it. This song is the total package, and if you're looking for someone to be your savior, it's not Kendrick. Number 11, When Sparks Fly, Vince Staples.
It's been 2 years, I keep calling, I'm still here, and I ain't got you.
When I tell you that this song absolutely takes me to another planet, and I have a damn near out-of-body experience every time I hear the first note of the sample by Lives play, bro, I mean that shit. I am absolutely transported when I hear this song. And that's even before Vince Staples utters one word. When I first heard this song, actually the first probably dozen times I heard this song, I liked this song. It was a dope song. And then about that 13th, 14th time I heard it, it clicked in my head that damn, this song is a personification track just like Beef by Nas. And Vince Staples is telling the story about a gun through the perspective of a gun. I mentioned Nas a couple entries ago with his song Beef, where he was personifying beef, and I mentioned that he made a song called I Gave You Power, where he personified a gun. So Vince Staples is basically just flipping that in a modernized way, and I think he does it beautifully. Number 10, Crack Sandwich and Surround Sound, JID.
When you fall down, stand up, get a bandage. I ain't got cheeseburger money, make a sandwich. Why you being bad? See your dad get your ass whipped. 7 crackhead bad kids in the caravan. Push the fucking pack off of the porch or break a pound down. Get the scrap if it happen to blow, it makes a round sounds. Pussy cat on my lap, push it back and go to town down. Putting rap on my back and I'm black and snatching crowns.
I mentioned on my Song of the Year video that the Forever Story had themes and a narrative all throughout it of family. And I don't think any song on the Forever Story encapsulates that more than Crack Sandwich. The beat is dope and somewhat erratic, pairing great with JID's flows. But where I think the song really shines is the last verse, where he gets into the storytelling bag, telling a story about him and his family going out in celebration and subsequently getting into a fight, or his sister getting into a fight, which led to their entire family getting into a brawl. Someone called the police on them. They spent some time in jail. And JID talks about how his mom and dad would probably be simultaneously proud and ashamed of them, because yes, they did fight, but at the same time, it was that togetherness of fighting together that brought them together as a family. When it comes to surround sound, this was JID's first single off of the Forever Story, and I knew from the first moment I heard it that it would stand the test of time and I'd be having it on repeat the entire year. And boy was I right. He's got the cheat code 21 Savage on a featured verse. He's got Baby Tate on a very memorable but short bridge. And then on the third verse, JID just goes all out and gives a verse of the year contender. Add this one to your playlist if it's not on it already. Number 9, All Eyes on Me, Earth Gang.
All eyes on me. I want all my niggas free. I could tat 100 tears on my face. I could call out 100 names.
Out of all the songs that made my list, I think I've had the most time to sit and process this song. And I knew from the first moment that I heard it that it would make my list, but I wasn't necessarily sure how high it would go. It came at the perfect time, post-pandemic, at the start of last year. It's a very triumphant song, just talking about overcoming the struggles in general, but in specific, overcoming the struggles of the pandemic. This is one of those songs that really makes you sit and reflect about your own life. There are so many quotables that Olu and Wow Great drop in this song, and damn near every one of them makes me shed a tear. Number 8, Cody Blue 31, JID. I've been a fan of JID for probably about 5 years, I would say, ever since I first heard Never, and he's definitely proven to be a very versatile MC. I have heard him get into his singing bag a few times, but it wasn't the most top-notch vocal performance, but he definitely gave a great effort. And I always had the thought that if JID learned how to sing, if JID could become a phenomenal singer as well as a phenomenal rapper, then it's over for you rappers. JID about to take over. and guess what? This man JID learned how to sing. Cody Blue 31 is dedicated to a child of a close friend of JID's who passed away at a very early age, unfortunately, and I think it's a great tribute to him. As I've said before, the theme of family is very evident throughout the entirety of the Forever Story, and it's encapsulated in this song as well. One of my favorite moments is when JID talks about his mom losing her mom, but staying strong throughout that, so him and his brothers and sisters didn't have to be affected by that. I really think it just goes to show how many people are putting on masks and how many people are staying strong even though they're dying inside. And I think a lot of moms, a lot of single moms do that on the daily. I can confidently say that this song is one of JID's best ever. Number 7, Mother Eyes Sober and Father Time, Kendrick Lamar.
So I set free the power of Whitney, may she heal us all. So I set free our children, make good karma, keep them with God. So I set free the hearts filled with hatred, keep our bodies sacred. As I set free all your abusers, this is transformation.
Wake ups, practicing on day offs, tough love, bottled up, no chase I need, no chase I need, no chase I need, no chase I need, no chase.
Starting with Mother Eyes Sober, which has Kendrick at probably his most vulnerable and revealing that we've ever seen him, telling the story about his own family's history of sexual abuse and how his mom was sexually abused, which led to her asking Kendrick if their cousin touched Kendrick, and Kendrick telling the truth and saying no. And then years later, his mom asking the same question and Kendrick sticking to that same answer and saying no, but because of their history of sexual abuse in their family and that cycle continuing, his mom almost didn't want to believe Kendrick that he wasn't abused. The last couple minutes of this song, and I mean this with no hyperbole, the last couple minutes of this song might be some of the most powerful minutes that I've heard in any song ever. And in the case of Father Time, not to get too personal, but I've had my own issues, or lack of issues, I guess you could say, with my own father. So I kind of related this to my own life, and it just hit a really personal and special place in my heart. And I know a lot of other people have had those same or very similar daddy issues, as Kendrick would put it, as well. Kendrick is such a great writer and perfectly encapsulates that father-son relationship in a way that only he can. He brings up topics of toxic masculinity and how, while good intentioned, it can definitely lead to the downfall. It can definitely lead to a negative impact on your child. Sampha is always welcomed here, and he was definitely the perfect pick for this hook. Number 6, Walking, Denzel Curry.
Walking with my back to the sun, keep my head to the sky. Me against the world is me, myself, and I, like daylight. Got in touch with my soul, trading softly on the path down the rockiest road.
If I could describe this song in just a couple words, the words I would choose are probably determination and conviction. And not only just in the messaging that Denzel provides, but the way he delivers these lines as well. The song is called Walking, and basically it's just about how you gotta keep moving, you gotta keep walking despite all the bullshit. There's a vocal sample throughout this entire song that sounds like it was ripped straight out of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but it provides a great backdrop. At this point, I really think Denzel is undeniable. He's proven time after time, year after year, that he keeps a hit. Number 5, Count Me Out, Kendrick Lamar.
I love when you count me out. 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 Fuck it up, fuck it up, fuck it up, fuck it up, fucking it up.
As I look at my top 15 list from this year, I'm starting to notice a trend of songs that have to do with triumph and overcoming. And this song right here might be the best example of that. Guilt, hurt, shame, lies, deceit, addiction are all things that Kendrick talks about overcoming in this one. And I think that we can all relate to that in some way, shape, or form. That feeling of somebody counting you out, that feeling of somebody doubting you, and in your mind knowing that you're about to overcome, that you're about to triumph, that you're about to reach all your goals, and you're about to look back and you're about to shit on them all. When you really sit down and listen to this song, it's almost like 4 or 5 songs in one, each part better than the last. And I really feel like whether you're studying for that big test, you got a job interview coming up, you're in the gym, you're getting ready for a big game, no matter what circumstance, as long as people are doubting you, you got to put this on your playlist. Number 4, On Phonem, Lupe Fiasco.
I wish that you were lying to me. Oh, yes I do.
I've described this song a few times as sobering and whimsical, and I think those 2 words perfectly sum up this song. Actually, the first verse in this song actually does a much better job of summarizing this song when Lupe says, "Rappers die too much. That's it, that's the verse." That right there is so simple but effective and such a sobering narrative on today's hip-hop. Lupe then goes on to give his thoughts and opinions on the state of today's hip-hop, talking about how violent it's become, and as violent as it's become equally just as influential. You got the drill rap and you got what I would call the op rap, and while it is fun and entertaining to listen to, if you look deeper into it, you'll really see that these rappers are really living what they're saying, and Lupe wishes it was all just a lie. Number 3, Miss Mural, Lupe Fiasco.
A selection of the waste that lacks direction or a base. You lose all of the plots for the affections of a race. Man does not become superior because you connect him to a cape, nor does become inferior because you connect him to an ape. I never wanted.
Miss Mural has Lupe deep into his storytelling bag, telling a story about an artist's conversation with a patron. The whole thing is really just a narration on art in today's age and how we consume art. This is one of those songs that describing it is never going to do it justice. When you're done watching this video, definitely go out of your way to check this one out. Lyrically, this song is without a doubt the best song on this list, and it might be one of Lupe's most lyrical songs, and if you know anything about Lupe, that's really saying something. Number 2, Get an Idea, Kenny Mason.
Go through my motions feeling like I don't got any ideas. Think about quitting at times, it seemed like a pretty idea. Think about freeing my mind from thinking of any ideas. Then think of people that might be having a similar idea.
Get an Idea is such a hidden gem, and I'm surprised a lot more people aren't talking about this song. Personally, this song really speaks to me in my creative side. This song is cathartic, it's emotional, it's almost heartbreaking at times, it's inspirational. I mean, Kenny sounds like he's really pouring his heart out, expressing his trust issues, his paranoia, and the way he creatively flips the concept of getting an idea. It's all just beautifully written. And my number 1 hip-hop song of 2022, Do Better, Ab-Soul.
I gotta do better, I gotta do better, I gotta do everything in my power to try to do what gotta do. Ride the tide, don't fight with the current that guided you. Melt the ice round the furnace burning inside of you.
I know I didn't do a criteria for my songs of the year list, but out of all the criterias I would have, making me feel something would definitely be at the top of my list, and Do Better by Ab-Soul does that better than any song on this list. The mood is set by Zakari and a somber beat before Ab-Soul comes on repeating I gotta do better, which serves as an affirmation or almost like a mantra. I mean, how many of us have said that same exact thing to ourselves when we felt down and out? It is the worst thing to be self-aware and self-destructive at the same time, knowing that you have these self-destructive patterns, but knowing that you really can't do anything about it because your mind is your own worst enemy. But as depressing as this song can be, it does really have a feel of triumph and light at the end of the tunnel and brighter days on the other side of that depression. Personally, this song came out at a really rough time in my life, so listening to it, it kind of hit a little different and kind of hit a little harder. And even though I'm in a better spot than I was a few months ago and my head's above water, I can still listen to the song and enjoy it to this day, just in a different way. And those are my favorite songs of 2023. If you made it this far, I appreciate y'all for checking out the video. If you're not yet subscribed and you fuck with the video you just watched, consider hitting that subscribe button. Check out my albums of the year list popping up right here. And as always, if it's not too dope, then it's probably mids.